Realize what is happening now. Take a deep breath. I have released something powerful into your life right now. It is not an assumption, it is not a vague hope. It is a spiritual reality that has already begun to manifest. You are being reached by a provision that does not come from earth, but directly from heaven. I saw everything you faced. I know the depth of your pain, the silence of your most anguished prayers, and the moments when you felt that no one else saw your effort. But I saw it. And because I saw it, I acted. This blessing did not come about by chance. It is no coincidence that you are hearing this message now. I have prepared this moment with divine precision. Every word you hear was generated in my heart before reaching you. It is the answer to what you asked for in secret, to what you expected without even knowing how to wait anymore. You arrived here tired, overwhelmed, and often without the strength to continue believing. But I will not allow you to continue carrying this burden alone. Today, I surround you with my presence and strengthen you with my spirit. I am opening a new cycle in your life. It's not a small improvement. It's a breakup. It is a time of turning point, where what was stuck begins to flow. Where what was scarce will be multiplied. Where your faith, even small, will be honored with miracles. I haven't forgotten any seed of trust you planted. No tears fell without purpose. No prayer was ignored. The waiting time was not in vain. Every second you held firm, even without seeing anything, will be rewarded. I'm bringing something that goes beyond what you can imagine. It's not just about money, but about peace, stability, wisdom to build and strength to start over. I am the God who sustains, who opens doors where there are only walls, who multiplies little and transforms what the world had already discarded. You are not a number. You are not someone forgotten. You are my beloved son, and everything I have prepared has your name. I know your days, your challenges, your deepest dilemmas. And even in the face of all this, I continue to choose you, love you, calling you to live something greater. Open your heart now. Let this word go deep, where you didn't even know it needed to be touched. It is in this space, where pain has taken root, that I am pouring out my healing. It is there, where fear has built walls, that I am breathing freedom. You no longer need to live trying to survive. I want you to live fully. May you trust me with all your being. Because while you worry about tomorrow, I am already there preparing the way, opening doors, lightening loads, and moving people in your favor. Don't question how it will happen. Just believe that it has already started. I am faithful to fulfill what I promised. I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. I don't change. And when I say I will provide, there is no crisis, there is no shortage, there is no impossible scenario that stops me. My provision does not depend on what you see, but on what I have already decreed in heaven. Trust. And if you feel that this word was directed exactly at you, comment now with faith, I receive this divine provision. Because this simple act of declaring your faith paves the way for my action to manifest itself with even more strength. It is in this position of trust that blessings flow. Don't let doubt silence your answer. Don't allow fear to steal what is already coming. Nothing will stop what I'm doing. Not logic, not circumstances, not past mistakes. When I decide to bless, nothing can stop me. So, right now, receive it. Receive with joy, with humility, with courage. It's not about merit. It is about my grace. You have been reached by something that will change your story. And that's just the beginning. You didn't get here by chance. Every second of your journey was seen by me. Every time you thought about giving up, I was by your side. Every time you cried in silence, I embraced you with my presence. Today, I want you to understand that this moment was written by me before you were even born. This message you are hearing now is not just a video or a nice speech. It is a spiritual summons. It is confirmation that you have been called to live something much greater than you have experienced until now. What is happening in your heart right now is not emotion, it is the touch of my spirit. I myself chose this moment to remind you of who you are and what I have prepared for you. Everything that seemed confusing begins to align when you open to hearing my voice. And today, as I speak to you, I am aligning heaven and earth in your favor. I am restoring what was broken, and healing what seemed incurable. There is something moving in the unseen. Something that will become visible soon. You have often wondered why certain doors didn't open, why some things didn't happen as you expected. But what seemed like delay was protection. I was never late. I was always working behind the scenes, even when everything seemed at a standstill. You are my son, my daughter, and I would never leave you alone when faced with the most important decisions in your life. You thought you were forgotten, but the truth is that I was shaping you. And now that you are ready, the time has come to live what I have prepared. The world may not recognize the value within you, but I do. I know the essence that I placed in your heart. Even when you failed, even when you felt distant from me, my love did not change. I never stopped believing in you. Because I know the end from the beginning. And I know that what is being born now in your life will be greater than anything you have ever experienced. You need to know, the faith that is being awakened in your heart right now is a powerful seed. Don't despise her. Even small, she is capable of moving the heavens. But you need to cultivate it with trust, with obedience, with surrender. There are times when you will have to trust without understanding, walk without seeing, obey without having all the answers. And it is in this place of surrender that I manifest my glory. I'm calling you to break the surface and dive in. It is no longer possible to live on appearances, on ready answers, on human attempts. You need something real, deep, transformative. And I am that. I am what your heart longs for. I am the source that never dries, the voice that never fails, the promise that never returns empty. So stop now and look inside. See how heavy everything you tried to build with your own hands was. But when you allow me to lead, everything becomes light. Not because the journey is easy, but because I walk with you. If this message touched your heart, share with someone who needs to hear this today. Be a channel of my voice for other lives. There are people around you waiting for a sign, for a word, for a touch. And you can be that bridge. Do not keep to yourself what I am pouring out on you. Release, share, bless. Because the more you share what comes from heaven, the more heaven moves in your favor. You are being repositioned. You are being reminded of your value. You are being called back to the center of my will. Don't fight it. Surrender. There is a new time before you. A time where faith will be stronger than doubt. Where love will cast out fear. Where hope will make you rise even after falls. And it doesn't matter how many times you've fallen this far. What matters is that today I extend my hand to you and say, get up. Come on. Start over. Because I am with you. Don't rush to understand everything. Don't even try to predict the next steps. Just keep listening to my voice. She is the one who will guide, console, and strengthen you. And even though the journey still has challenges, you will no longer be alone. Because today something was activated in your spirit. And no one can take that away. You have been called. You have been chosen. And that's why you're here. What I am releasing into your life is not ordinary. It is not just any blessing, fleeting or limited. It is something profound, transformative, lasting. The abundance I am about to shower on you is not limited to material values or visible achievements. It touches areas that were dry inside you. It restores not only your finances, but also your mind, your identity, your faith, your ability to dream again. When I bless, I don't hand over crumbs. I deliver the overflow. And what is coming to you will change not only your story, but that of everyone around you. There are people who will be touched by the change that I will make in their lives. There are cycles of scarcity being ended now. But it won't just be on the outside, it will be on the inside. Because true prosperity begins in the heart. I am teaching you to think like someone who is called to live with purpose. You were not born to live fighting every day just to survive. I called you to live fully, with wisdom, with awareness of your value. The blessing I have for you requires a heart prepared to receive it. This is why I have been working on you even before delivering what you asked for. There is a time when I shape character, teach you to trust, teach you to wait. Now the time has come when the harvest begins to appear. What was hidden will be revealed. What seemed lost will be restored. But you need to understand, I don't just want to hand you over, I want to teach you how to maintain, honor and multiply what I'm putting in your hands. Gratitude will be the soil where this new phase will flourish. And responsibility will be what sustains everything you experience. I trust you. I see how much you have grown. I see how much you fought against yourself not to give up, even when everything was screaming for you to stop. But now, in this new time, I want to teach you to walk lightly. I want to show you that you don't need to carry the weight of the future alone. I'll take care of you. I support you. I prepare everything before you even need it. You will start experiencing answers before you even finish the questions. Because my provision does not depend on your logic, but on my grace. You will see doors opening where there were walls before. You will receive unexpected invitations, unexpected resources, and you will feel peace even on stressful days. Because my hand is upon you. And where I place my hand, nothing remains the same. The whole atmosphere changes. The whole environment aligns. Every battle turns into a testimony. Get ready to walk in places you didn't see yourself in before. Get ready to receive without fear of losing. To build without fear that something will collapse. To love without the fear of being disappointed. Because when I restore, I also strengthen. When I lift, I sustain. When I send, I empower. And now the time has come for you to experience this abundance that comes with peace, not heaviness. On purpose, not out of anxiety. You no longer have to look at the past and wonder why it didn't happen sooner. Everything has the right time. And this is the time that I chose. Because now you are ready. Because now you will know how to use, care for, share, and honor everything that I put in your hands. Like this video and subscribe to the channel to continue listening to my voice. This is just the first of many words that I will release upon you. Don't disconnect. Keep listening. Because what I have begun to do in you today is just the beginning of an extraordinary journey. And on this journey, you don't walk alone. I am with you every step of the way. I saw you. I saw when no one else saw your pain. When the smile on your face hid the weight in your heart. I was there, in every moment when you thought about giving up, in every moment of silence where words didn't come out, but tears said it all. Nothing went unnoticed in my eyes. Not one of your tears fell in vain. Not a single thought of yours was ignored. I saw what others didn't see. I felt what you couldn't express. And today, I am here to remind you, you were never alone. I have been by your side through the longest nights. Those where sleep didn't come and the anguish seemed to suffocate. When you cowered in silence trying to contain the pain, I was there, enveloping you with my presence. When you thought that no one cared, that no one understood you, I was taking care of your heart. And even when you didn't feel it, even when fear spoke louder, even when you thought I was silent, I was closer than ever. I know your unspoken prayers. The ones you made with just one look at the sky. Those that didn't come out as sentences, but as sighs, groans, and loose thoughts. I listened to them all. Because I don't need pretty words, I listen to the heart. And yours, even tired, even hurt, never stopped calling me. You think you didn't have enough faith, but I saw your every effort to believe, to continue, to not turn away from me. And for that, I honor you. I understand what no one else understands. I understand what you yourself have difficulty explaining. I know how each situation affected you, how each loss marked you, how each closed door hurt your confidence. And yet, I remained. I kept believing in you. I remained supporting you on the days when you thought you were falling. I allowed you to go through certain tests, not to punish you, but to strengthen you. So that you would know that your strength does not come from you, but from me. Have you ever wondered why certain situations seem to have no end? Why did some pains insist on staying? I know that many times you thought that I didn't hear you, that my promises were too far away. But what you didn't know is that, even in the silence, I was working. Sometimes my silence is proof of my care. I was shaping you, protecting you from paths that seemed good, but that would take you further than I prepared. I was clearing the land to plant something much bigger. I do not ignore your suffering. I don't minimize your pain. On the contrary, I care about every detail. When you felt rejected, I was welcoming you. When you felt forgotten, I was watching you with love. When you thought you had no more strength, I was holding you. That's why you didn't fall apart, didn't give up. Because even without realizing it, you were being carried by me. I was your support on the days when the ground seemed to have disappeared. Your pain is not small to me. What hurts you matters to me. And that is why now I come with healing. Not just to alleviate what you feel, but to restore who you are. I want to remind you that you are not the sum of your traumas, nor the result of your mistakes. You are my creation, my masterpiece. And everything I do, I complete. I don't leave anything half done. And with you, it will be no different. I saw you broken, but I also see you whole. I see you strong, confident, restored. I see you living everything I planned. And even though today still seems far away, I am shortening the path. I'm speeding up time. I'm bringing people, opportunities, and resources to put you exactly where you're supposed to be. I am the God who transforms crying into dancing, despair into hope, pain into testimony. And that's what I'm doing to you now. Let me heal what no one has been able to touch. Let me enter the areas that you have closed off for fear of being hurt again. I didn't come to judge you, I came to restore you. And all you have to do is allow it. Just that. Allow me to show you how loved you are. May I prove to you that true love does not abandon, does not demand perfection, does not give up. And that love is me. I am here. I'm with you. And I will never stop being. I know how many times fear has tried to dominate your heart. How many times has he disguised himself as prudence, logic, protection. But deep down, he only wanted one thing, to paralyze you. Fear is subtle. He doesn't scream, he whispers. It whispers that it won't work, that it's too late, that you're not capable, that you're alone. And many times, you believed these lies. Not because you lacked faith, but because you were already tired, hurt, discredited. And that's when fear sets in, when you let your guard down, when the tiredness seems greater than the promise. But today I am here to uproot this fear. Because the fear you felt did not come from me. I did not create you to live in a corner, limited, suspicious of everything and everyone. I created you to walk in faith, to walk on water, to believe even when there is no sign. Fear has stolen not only your peace, but also your opportunities, your boldness, your hope. How many times have you been one step away from experiencing something new, but backed away because the doubt was stronger? How many doors have I opened, and you hesitated to walk through because fear convinced you that it wasn't the time? He arrives. Today is the day you take a stand. Where you look at fear and say, "You're not in charge of me anymore." Because the faith within you is more powerful than any external threat. I put in you a spirit of boldness, of courage, of clarity. And that spirit is being activated now. I am rekindling your confidence, breathing life into your dreams, into your vision. You won't hide anymore. It will no longer decrease. You will move forward, because that is what I have called you to do. Doubt is the terrain where the enemy tries to build his fortresses. He knows he can't touch my promises, but he tries to convince you that they are not for you. And if he can make you doubt, he can keep you still. But I come today to undo every lie that was planted in your heart. Yes, you are worthy. Yes, you are capable. Yes, you are loved. And what I have prepared for you no one can stop. You just need to believe. You don't need to have huge faith. Just believe sincerely. Just take one step. Just declare, even in fear, I trust in you. It is at this moment, in this simple gesture, that the chains begin to fall. That the walls begin to crumble. That the waters begin to move. Because I respond to faith. Always. And it doesn't matter how many times you failed. I am not here to condemn you, but to lift you up. To restore what fear tried to destroy. As you listen to me, I am breaking invisible chains. I am freeing your mind from patterns that imprisoned you. I am freeing your heart from the insecurity that prevented you from loving, from trusting, from starting over. What is being released now into the spiritual world is real. And it will also manifest itself in the natural. You will see the changes. You will feel the lightness. You will walk safely. Because where there was once fear, now there will be faith. Where there was once doubt, now there will be conviction. Where there was once paralysis, there will now be movement. If you feel this word is for you, comment now, 7777, as a prophetic sign of divine liberation. This number is more than a sequence. It is a symbol of perfection, of plenitude, of something complete being released from heaven into your life. Declare this in faith. Let your faith speak louder than fear. Because every time you act in faith, heaven moves toward you. You were not created to hide. You were created to shine. To impact. To live in freedom. Fear will no longer be your guide. From now on, it will be my voice that will direct your steps. And where I guide you, I sustain. Where I send you, I empower. Where I plant you, I make you bloom. The fear that has tried to stop you for so long is being defeated at this very moment. And a new time begins to open before you. A time of courage, of action, of living faith. Because you don't walk alone anymore. I'm with you. You were not born to live in scarcity. I did not create you for a limited existence, marked by constant worry, sleepless nights, and days full of anxiety about what will be missing tomorrow. My plan for you has always been bigger than survival. I formed you to flourish, to advance, to live in peace even when everything around you seems unstable. Scarcity has never been part of my purpose for my children. It is the consequence of a broken world, of wrong choices, of cycles that need to be ended. But today I am here to remind you, you are not tied to the world system. You belong to my kingdom. And in my kingdom, there is no lack. You need to understand that your reality is not defined by your circumstances, but by my word. I am the God who opens paths where there are none. That gives birth to provision in the desert. That multiplies little, that sustains with the invisible, that transforms scarcity into abundance with a simple touch. What I have prepared for you goes beyond what your human effort can achieve. Because it's not just about effort, it's about promise. It's about alliance. And I don't break alliances. You have been pressured by the fear of losing. For the insecurity of tomorrow. For the feeling that it is never enough. But this did not come from me. I am the God who gives rest. That lightens the weight. Who sustains with love and takes care of every detail. If even birds are fed by my hands, why do you think I would forget you? You are worth more than all of them. You were created in my image, chosen, set apart. You are mine. And because you are mine, what sustains you is not the salary, the market, or someone's help. What sustains you is my faithfulness. I want you to stop looking at life as if it were a constant battle for survival. I want you to start looking with the eyes of faith. Because even if everything around you seems to be falling apart, I remain in control. And nothing, absolutely nothing, escapes my hands. What you need, I have. What do you expect? I prepare. What you lost, I can restore. But you need to trust. You need to align your vision with my word. You need to stop accepting as normal what was never part of the plan. Scarcity tries to silence your faith. It tries to make you think that praying is useless, that believing is wasting time, that waiting on me is useless. But these are lies from the enemy. He wants to convince you that you are alone, that you have been forgotten, that you are not worth enough to be reached by a miracle. But I'm here to say otherwise. You are valuable, yes. You have promise, yes. And the time of manifestation is closer than you think. Stop now and look around with spiritual eyes. See how much I have already freed you. See how many times you thought you couldn't do it, and you still made it this far. See how much you've matured, how much you've resisted, how much you've learned. This is no small feat, this is living faith in action. And I am pleased with this faith. It is she who moves me. It is what brings the supernatural to the natural. It is she who opens the windows of heaven over your life. You were created to live with dignity, with direction, with peace. You no longer need to accept crumbs when I have a table prepared for you. Don't settle for little when what I have is a lot. Do not accept living on the margins when I have called you to live at the center of my will. And even though there are still bills to pay, debts to resolve, challenges ahead, I want you to know, I am bigger than all of this. And I will act. I will intervene. I will surprise you. Share this truth with those who are discouraged. There are many around you living under lies. People who have forgotten that they have value, who have lost faith, who think that scarcity is destiny. But you can be light, you can be a voice, you can be an instrument to remind these people that I am still the same. Which I still care for. I still bless. Still free. And if you are hearing this now, it is because I chose you to be part of this change. You are not a hostage to your conditions. You are heir to my promises. So lift your head. Straighten your shoulders. And walk as one who knows that he is cared for, supported and guided by the Father. Because where I am, there is no lack. Where I rule, there is provision. Where I dwell, there is abundance. And I dwell in you. The blessing I am releasing into your life is not small, and it is not common either. It is great because the purpose I have with you is great. But understand this deeply, I don't deliver blessings just to make you happy momentarily. I bless to prepare you, to use you, to reveal through you my care and my character. The supply I am pouring out has a destination, it has a purpose, it has an impact that goes beyond you. I surrender to you because I trust who you are becoming. I saw your process. I saw when you cried because you didn't have enough. I saw when you had to make difficult choices. I saw when you chose to be faithful to me even when it seemed easier to give in. I saw when he helped others, even though he had little. I saw when he didn't murmur, but prayed. This was all part of the preparation. And now, I know that your heart is stronger, more aware, more mature. That's why I'm delivering more. Because I know you will know what to do with what you receive. It's not just about having. It's about knowing how to use it. It's about managing wisely. About recognizing that what comes into your hands is the fruit of my grace, and not just your effort. I will give you resources, but I will also give you discernment. I will give you opportunities, but I will also give you wisdom to choose the right time. I will give you connections, but I will also show you who should stay and who should leave. Because I don't want you to just conquer. I want you to stay. May you flourish. May you inspire others to do the same. I did not create you to accumulate, but to share. You are a channel, not a reservoir. When I bless your life, I want your life to become a living testimony of my faithfulness. May through you, others see that it is worth trusting in me. May they know that I am a God of abundance, but I am also a God of order, of justice, of purpose. The blessing that comes upon you does not take you away from my presence. It brings you closer. Because those who understand where they came from honor what they have. Many want to receive, but few are willing to take responsibility. Provision without responsibility becomes waste. But in the hands of those who are afraid, of those who are aware, it multiplies. She grows. She catches up. And I want what I put in your hands to bear fruit. May it bring relief to you, but also direction to others. May it bring comfort, but also transformation. You will be the answer to prayers that were not prayed for you. It will be an instrument in places I never imagined being. Because where there is a heart aligned with heaven, there is a flow that is not limited to the natural. Don't allow abundance to distract you. Let it bring you even closer to me. Remember, everything I give you is to be administered with gratitude. And true gratitude manifests itself in choices, in care, in the way you deal with what you receive. I don't bless to inflate the ego. I bless you to expand the kingdom. So that through your life, many may know my love, my provision, my truth. You've prayed for open doors, and now you're seeing hinges move. You called for change, and now you feel the wind of newness blowing. But no, this is just the beginning. I am giving you the first sign of something much bigger. A time where you will not just be the one who receives, but the one who transmits. What a guide. What a blessing. What an influence. It will not be because of your ability, but because of my presence in you. Like this message and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving my direction. Because this will not be the last time that I speak to you. There is more. There are new words. There are new paths. And you need to remain connected, sensitive, attentive to what I am releasing. Because every instruction I give will be key to maintaining what you will achieve. Blessing is also responsibility. And I am giving you the conditions to live up to what I have prepared. Your time of scarcity is behind you. Now is the time for wisdom, generosity, influence. Because whoever is full of me overflows. And that's what you're going to experience, overflowing. I am your livelihood. I always have been. Even when you thought it was your work, your strength, someone's help, or the effort you made every day. Even when you counted every penny and thought it all depended on what went into the account or not. It was me. It was always me. I am the one who provides before you realize the need. That acts before urgency. That prepares the escape before the crisis. And even if you haven't seen it that way until now, today I invite you to see it with different eyes. To recognize that the source of your life is me. Remember when you didn't know how you were going to pay that bill, and the answer came from where you least expected it? Remember that door that opened when everything seemed closed? That strength that came when you could no longer get out of bed? That peace that enveloped you even without having any apparent reason to smile? I was there. Not just as a spectator, but as a father. As a provider. As the one who never abandons. I am the one who sustains the birds of the sky. They don't work, they don't store, they don't produce wealth. Still, none of them go hungry. Now stop and think, if I take care of the birds, how could I not take care of you? You, who I carry in my hands. You, who I created with so much love. You, who have an eternal purpose. You are worth much more than any being in creation. You are my image. He is my son. My daughter. And nothing, absolutely nothing, escapes my care. I know you live in a world where everything seems uncertain. The news screams scarcity. The bills increase. Doors don't always open. Salaries do not always keep up with expenses. I see all of this. But I also remind you, you do not belong in this system. You live in the world, but you are not of it. You are a citizen of the kingdom. And in my kingdom, there is endless supply. There are resources that man cannot predict. There are paths that logic cannot reach. There are miracles that appear when everything seems lost. What I have for you does not depend on economic stability, human influences, or people's goodwill. What I have for you depends only on my word. And my word does not fail. I am faithful. What I promise, I keep. What I declare, happens. And when I say I will support you, that is not an emotional consolation. It's an eternal guarantee. You won't miss it. You will not perish. You won't fall along the way. Because I support you. With a strong hand. With renewed grace. With love that never fails. I know the behind the scenes of your life. I know the worries you don't talk about to anyone. From the calculations you make at night. From the insomnia that tries to dominate your mind. The responsibilities that weigh on your shoulders. I see all of this. But I want you to know, you don't have to carry this burden alone. You can trust. You can rest. You can take a deep breath knowing that I am the one who watches over you day and night. He who prepares the invisible. That moves the supernatural. Who commands my angels to guard you in all your ways. You are not dependent on a job, a fixed salary, a person, or a position. You depend on me. And depending on me is the greatest security anyone can have. Because I don't change. I don't delay. I don't abandon. I do not revoke my plans because of circumstances. On the contrary. The more adverse the scenario, the more glorious my action will be. The more unlikely the miracle, the clearer my power will be. The harder it seems, the more you will see my faithfulness. So stop fearing the future. I'm already there. Stop doubting your livelihood. He has already been released. Stop questioning whether it will work. It is already written yes. What I started in your life, I will finish. And what today seems small, limited, insufficient, tomorrow will be a testimony of my abundance. I take care of the details. I bring peace where there is confusion. I organize what seems lost. And I do this because I love you. Because you are mine. And because none of those who trust in me will be put to shame. So rest. Not as someone who accommodates, but as someone who trusts. Do your part with excellence, with dedication, with honor. But don't carry the burden of provision alone. Let me take care of it. Let me show you that living by faith is not living without direction. It is living guided by a Father who never fails. And that Father is I. I am your sustenance. Yesterday, today, and forever. Money has never been and will never be your savior. It can buy things, but it cannot restore peace within you. It may offer momentary comfort, but it does not heal deep wounds. It can sustain an appearance, but it cannot sustain a tired heart. There are many who have a lot and yet live in complete emptiness. Because they confuse stability with security, wealth with purpose, accumulation with peace. But today I come to remind you, true peace is not in what you have, but in who you trust. You were taught to chase, to seek more and more, to not stop until you reach an ideal of life that the world has established. But the more you chase it without me, the more tired you become. More frustrated. Further away from the essence for which it was created. I didn't make you to live enslaved by numbers. Nor to measure your identity by the size of your account. I made you to live in freedom. To trust, rest, breathe lightly even when you still don't have everything you want. It's okay to thrive. I am happy to see you well, provided for, safe. But the problem starts when you put your heart where it should be, just your gratitude. The problem begins when your faith bows before the balance, when your hope depends on the approval of a bank, a contract, a financial return. You start to lose your peace because you forget where the source comes from. But today I call you back. Back to the origin. Back to the place where your trust rests in me alone. Money is a tool, not a direction. It serves, but does not guide. It helps, but does not define. When you understand it as an instrument and not as a base, it flows in a healthy way. But when you place it as the foundation of your security, it becomes a prison. And I didn't create you to live in prison. I created you to live free. Free to believe, to donate, to manage wisely, to multiply with purpose. What you have is blessing, but what you are has eternal value. There are many who seek more and more, but the more they have, the less they rest. This is because their soul is malnourished with confidence. And trust cannot be bought, it is built in my presence. It's in secret with me that you learn to breathe in peace even when the bills haven't been paid yet. It is by walking with me that you realize that I always arrive at the right time. That I never missed. That even when it seemed like nothing was going to happen, I was preparing something better than what you asked for. How many times have you thought you would only be at peace when everything was resolved? When amount X came in, when debt Y was paid off, when project Z was successful. But the peace that comes from me does not depend on accomplished goals, but on surrendered hearts. I don't give you peace like the world does. The peace of the world is fragile, conditional, fleeting. My peace is firm, unshakable, eternal. You can feel it now, even in the midst of the storm. Because it does not depend on circumstances, but on my presence. So stop being consumed by what is in my hands. You don't need to carry the anxiety that I already carried on the cross. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just need to trust. Your peace will not come when everything is perfect. It arrives when you understand that, even imperfect, everything is in the control of a perfect God. And that God is me. If this word is touching your heart today, please enjoy this video as a sign that you choose to trust me and not money. This simple action is a way of declaring that your faith is being repositioned. That your peace will no longer be a hostage to circumstances. That you understood where the true source of rest is. You don't need to live another day hostage to the fear of losing, the fear of not having, the fear of not succeeding. I am your source. I am your provision. I am your shelter. And whatever is necessary to fulfill the purpose I have for your life, I will provide it myself. You don't need to worry about the how. You just need to listen to me, follow me, trust me. What you need, I have. And at the right time, I deliver. But peace, you can receive it now. Here. Right now. Take a deep breath and say in your heart, I trust in you. Because this simple decision has the power to change the course of your journey. From now on, you are no longer guided by the fear of scarcity, but by the certainty of my faithfulness. I'm with you. And that's enough. The enemy watches you. He studies your steps, analyzes your reactions, identifies your weaknesses. He doesn't rush, he waits. It waits for you to let your guard down, for you to get distracted, for you to get tired. And when he notices a gap, he acts. But not how you imagine. He doesn't come with shouts or obvious threats. He comes in disguises. With apparently good proposals. With shortcuts that seem like a solution. With opportunities that shine on the outside, but on the inside carry traps. He knows where to play. He sees your neediness and offers false affection. He sees your impatience and proposes quick paths. Sees your thirst for answers and suggests dangerous shortcuts. All this to move you, little by little, away from the center of my will. He doesn't push you into the abyss all at once. He keeps distracting you, looking away, convincing you that he can do everything his way. And when you realize it, you are already distant, confused, without peace, without direction. But today I come to open your eyes. Because I love you too much to let you fall into spiritual traps disguised as blessings. Not every open door was opened by me. Not every proposal comes from heaven. Not every path that seems easier leads to the right destination. So listen carefully, watch. Pray. Discern. Remain sensitive to my voice. Because I don't talk about confusion. I speak in peace. I don't push in a hurry. I drive safely. I don't fool you with appearance. I lead you with truth. The enemy wants to steal your essence. He wants to replace faith with fear, trust with control, dependence on me with self-sufficiency. He wants to make you think that you can solve everything on your own, that you can work around the process, that you can live outside of my time. But this is not freedom. That's a bond. It's a prison disguised as independence. And you were not created to live in prison. It was created to live guided. With purpose. Clearly. With security that comes from above. Maybe you're looking at something that looks promising. A decision, a proposal, a relationship, a change. And everything feels right. But still, there is a restlessness inside you. This inconvenience is not in vain. It is my spirit warning you. Because before blessing you, I protect you. And if something that seems good now will take you away from me later, then it doesn't come from me. And if it doesn't come from me, it doesn't serve you. Because what comes from heaven brings peace, confirmations, and aligns with what I have already spoken to your heart. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to look for solutions out of time. My timing is perfect. My plan is complete. And my way is safe. Even when it seems slower, it's what keeps you going. Even when it seems more difficult, it's what matures you. Even when you don't understand, it's what makes you stronger. So don't stray. Don't trade your peace for empty promises. Don't exchange the eternal for the immediate. Share this spiritual alert with those you love. There are many around you living distracted, being seduced by voices that are not mine, walking on paths that seem like light, but lead to tiredness, frustration, stagnation. Be a channel of awakening. Whether light. Be a voice that points back to me. Because the more people listen, the more hearts will be preserved. You are too precious to be fooled by easy solutions. What I have for you is true, solid, eternal. It won't fall apart at the first wind, it won't leave you feeling empty after reaching it. I am the God who builds on rock. That builds history on a firm foundation. Who holds promises with constant presence. And it is this security that I want for you. So stay tuned. Abide in me. Continue seeking my voice in every detail. Because even in the midst of temptations, distractions, proposals that arise, I will always be by your side, ready to guide you, protect you, and lead you on the right path. And whoever walks with me, even when the ground seems unstable, steps on solid ground. Because I am the foundation. I am the rock. I am the truth. And the truth sets you free. Even when you walked away, I remained. Even when you chose paths that led you nowhere, I continued here, waiting for you. My love does not withdraw when you make a mistake. My presence does not move away when you stumble. On the contrary. In the moments when you were most lost, that was when I came closest. You may not have felt me, but I was there. Because I never stopped loving you. I never stopped seeing you. I never stopped believing in who you really are. I know your heart. I know the reasons that made you discouraged, cold, disbelieved. I know how deep some disappointments were. How certain people hurt your trust. How your own choices frustrated you. But none of that changes how I feel about you. None of this makes me give up on the plans I have for your life. Your value does not diminish with your mistakes. Your call was not canceled because of deviations. You are still chosen. It's still separate. It's still part of what I'm doing at this time. Today I call you back. Not to the point where you fell, but to the center of my purpose. Because from the beginning, I dreamed of you walking with me, hearing my voice, being light in this world. I didn't form you to live confused, carrying guilt or living a half-hearted life. I formed you to live in fullness, in clarity, in peace. And everything that keeps you away from that needs to be left today. Because there is a new time being prepared for you. And he starts with a decision, to return. Coming back is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of maturity. It is understanding that far from me you can achieve things, but you will never have peace. You can even move, but you will never feel complete. Because your place has always been here, in my arms. In a place where I remind you who you are. Where I strengthen you, restore you, and send you again, stronger, lighter, more prepared. No matter how distant you feel. One step towards me is enough to change everything. I don't receive you with judgment, I receive you with celebration. Because for me, your return is a reason for joy. I celebrate every heart that comes back. And his return today is prophetic. It will mark a new cycle. A new station. Where what was once pain will now be testimony. Where what was weight will now be grace. Where what was doubt will now be direction. I restore you inside and then do it outside. First I touch your heart, then I transform your path. First I heal your motivations, then I open the right doors. Because a blessing without preparation turns into confusion. But when you are positioned, everything that arrives falls into place. And that is what I am doing with you now. I am repositioning your soul. Rekindling your identity. Re-establishing your confidence. Don't allow shame to keep you paralyzed. No mistake is greater than my mercy. No failure nullifies grace. No deviation is irreversible when the heart decides to return. And your heart, even wounded, still beats for me. It still wants to be where I am. You still miss the peace that only my presence provides. And I am here. Just waiting for you to say, I want to go back. And when you declare this, the sky moves. The angels celebrate. The invisible chains break. The spiritual weight begins to fall. The voice of the accusation falls silent. Because now it is my voice that calls you. And my voice always calls to life. Always calls close. Always calls with love. Subscribe to the channel and keep listening to my voice. There's more I want to tell you. Words that will strengthen you on difficult days, that will renew your faith when it seems weak, that will remind you of what really matters. You don't have to walk alone. I am here. And I will continue here. Faithful, constant, present. Because what I started in you, I will complete it myself. You are still part of the plan. It's still an answer for people who don't even know you. It is still a channel of my love in this generation. Nothing was lost. Nothing was in vain. Everything will be used. Even your mistakes, even your silences. I am an expert in transforming everything for the good of those who love me. And you love me. And for that, I call you. I hug you. And I welcome you back. Because this is where you belong. Because you are mine. Being holy does not mean moving away from life. It's not hiding. It is not living on the margins of reality, as if the call to holiness were a burden or a prison. Being holy means living with intention. It's walking with purpose. It's walking through darkness without losing the light. It's keeping your heart clean even when everything around seems contaminated. Holiness is not isolation. Holiness is impact. That's when your life starts to transform everything around it, not because you impose yourself, but because you overflow. I didn't call you to live in a closed room, far from the world, afraid of making mistakes. I called you to be among people, to be a bridge, to be a response, to reflect my character in every gesture, in every word, in every choice. The holiness I seek is not appearance. It's essence. It's not about outward perfection. It's about a heart aligned with heaven. And that's what you've been looking for. That's why I'm here, reaffirming, you can live a holy, full and meaningful life. You don't have to stop living to follow me. You just need to decide to live in a way that honors me. And this manifests itself in small decisions, in true intentions, in being careful about what you say, what you think, what you feed your soul. Holiness does not isolate you from the world, it connects you with what is deepest. It makes you see with the eyes of the Spirit. It makes you listen with discernment. Makes you love with grace. And, most importantly, it makes you remain firm when many give up. In a time where everything is superficial, where many prefer shortcuts, where immediacy has stolen the depth of relationships and faith, living with holiness is an act of courage. It's choosing not to sell yourself. Don't get lost. Don't contaminate yourself with what promises a lot, but delivers empty. You have been set apart for more. He was called to live to a higher standard, not of judgment, but of excellence. Of inner beauty. Of conviction. Of light that shines even when it is not seen by everyone. To be holy is to be where no one else wants to be, but still maintain integrity. It's speaking wisely when everyone just shouts. It's choosing the truth when the lie seems more profitable. It's forgiving when the hurt seems fairer. It's serving when pride wants to dominate. And all of this doesn't take you away from life, it brings you closer to your purpose. The world needs to see people like this. Who live coherently. Who have convictions and, at the same time, have love. They don't negotiate principles, but they also don't close doors to anyone who thinks differently. Who know that they are not better than anyone else, but who live with the awareness that they were called to something greater. And that is exactly what you are becoming. A reflection of heaven on earth. A sign that it is possible to live deeply in such a shallow time. Don't be afraid to be different. You were not created to fit in, but to shine. And it is not a shine of appearance, but of essence. It is the light that comes from within. That doesn't fade over time. That doesn't depend on praise to stay lit. Who does not seek approval, but lives by the conviction that he is on the right path. And this path is what takes you closer to me. The people around you are watching. And many of them will be touched not by your speeches, but by your example. For the way you respond to difficulties. For the peace you carry even in the midst of chaos. For the firmness with which you walk, even without having all the answers. This is holiness. It's when your life preaches louder than your words. And don't think this is a burden. On the contrary. When you choose this path, you find true freedom. Because it no longer depends on what others think, nor on what the world offers. You live for an eternal purpose. And it all makes sense. Even fights gain meaning. Even pain becomes seeds of something greater. I called you to be light where there is darkness. To be hope where there is discouragement. To be true where there is deception. And you have everything you need to live it. Because I am with you. And it is my presence that sanctifies you. That separates you. That makes you stronger. That empowers you. You don't walk alone. And so, you can continue. Even if everything around you says otherwise, my voice within you will always be stronger. Because you are mine. Chosen. Separate. Holy. And that's how I see you. Before every harvest, there is a preparation time. And this time is not always easy. It requires patience, faith, obedience, and above all, silence. Because preparation often takes place in hidden places, where no one sees. That's when you wonder if you're really moving forward. When it seems like everything is at a standstill, but in reality, I am working on the roots. Shaping the invisible so that the visible can be sustained. Because I didn't call you to live something shallow. I called you to something deep, solid, lasting. And everything that is lasting needs to be built on a foundation. Often what you called delay was care. What you called a closed door was deliverance. What you thought was punishment was actually preparation. Because it's not enough to receive. You need to be ready to charge. The blessing I have for you is too great to be supported by a fragile structure. That's why I have strengthened your foundations. That's why you went through pressure, tests, situations that demanded more than you thought you were capable of handling. And yet, you remained. You didn't realize it, but with each tear, I matured you. In every no, I aligned you. In each wait, I taught you to trust. And now, this all starts to make sense. Because harvest time is approaching, and what you have learned so far will be the key to living what is to come. You will be a good steward of what I am about to pour out. Not just because he prayed for it, but because he was prepared for it. Don't despise the process. He is part of the miracle. The field does not bloom without first going through pruning. Gold does not shine without first being tested in fire. The vase does not take shape without first being pressed by the potter's hands. And you are in my hands. And in my hands, everything has purpose. Nothing is wasted. Neither crying, nor doubt, nor silence. Everything is an instrument to transform you into the person who carries the promise with balance, faith, and wisdom. I know you've prayed to speed things up. He has already called for the answer to come soon. And at some moments, he thought that I wasn't listening. But now I tell you, I heard every prayer. And more than that, I replied. But the answer came in the form of preparation. Because I am a father who loves. And because I love you, I don't give you something while I know it could hurt you. I wait for the right time. And that time is coming. You are closer than you think. But there's still something I need to adjust within you. A healing, a release, a reordering of thoughts. And when this is complete, what was held back will be released. And you will not only see the fulfillment, but you will have the structure to live the fulfillment in peace. Because a promise without preparation carries weight. But the promise with preparation brings fullness. Comment now if you are going through this process and declare your faith. This is not just a gesture, it is a spiritual attitude. It is saying with maturity, Lord, even without understanding everything, I trust. Even in the time of waiting, I remain. Even without seeing, I believe. This statement moves the heavens. Because it shows that your faith is not based on what you receive, but on who I am. You are not late. You are being prepared. And everything that is being generated in silence will be revealed with honor. People will see what I did to you, but only you and I will know the value of what was experienced in secret. And that will be your greatest testimony. Not because it was easy, but because it was real. And everything that is real remains. Stay strong. Keep believing. Keep listening to me. Because the process is almost complete. And the harvest that will come will be so abundant that you will understand the reason for every detail, every weight, every step. I am faithful. And what I started, I will finish myself. With excellence. With purpose. With love. Because you are mine. And I take care of each phase of your story. Even when you think nothing is happening, I am working. Even when heaven seems silent, my angels are in motion. Even when you don't feel, don't see, don't hear, I continue to operate. Because my action does not depend on your perception, it depends on my faithfulness. And I am faithful. As you pray, I align. While you wait, I prepare. As you trust, I advance with details that you cannot yet perceive. There are times when silence scares you. You think that I walked away, that I stopped listening, that I gave up on plans. But my silence is never abandonment. Silence is often the environment where faith matures. Where your confidence stops being an emotion and becomes a conviction. It's where you learn that believing isn't feeling, it's knowing. This is where you discover that your hope is not in the evidence, but in the certainty that I do not change, I do not fail, I do not forget. Have you ever had days when everything seemed still, but something inside you still kept you going? That strength that kept you standing was my spirit. It was me, whispering to your heart, don't stop, I'm still here. Because even in silence, I continue to be God. And my power does not diminish when you do not hear my voice. On the contrary, it is on these days when there seems to be no sound, that the greatest miracles begin to be shaped. The sky is not still. He's just operating at a level that you can't yet see. There are people being moved. There are doors being prepared. There are hearts being touched. There are provisions being released. There are alignments being made. everything at the right time. Because when I move, everything happens with purpose. There's no point arriving early. What I have for you requires an ideal scenario, a prepared environment, adjusted maturity. And that's what I'm building now. You don't need to see to trust. You just need to remember what I have already done. Look back and see how many times you thought it was the end, but I started over. How many times did you think you wouldn't have the strength, but I lifted you up? How many times have you prayed in tears, and today you experienced the answer? So why would now be any different? I remain the same. And if I promised, I will fulfill it. But in my time. In the time when the miracle will not only be an answer, but a testimony. It won't just be a blessing, it will be transformation. The wait is never empty. It is loaded with meaning. It is in waiting that you learn to trust without conditions. It is there that your roots deepen, that your faith is strengthened, that your character is shaped. And when everything is ready, what you thought was taking too long will come at a speed you didn't expect. Because when I say, now, nothing can stop it. And this, now, is being prepared as you remain. That's why, enjoy this message as an act of faith in the invisible. As if to say, I don't need to see to know that God is acting. Because this simple attitude, this small gesture, is a spiritual declaration. It's you saying to heaven, I still believe. And when you declare this, heaven responds. Because I honor every act of faith, every sincere delivery, every heart that decides to continue trusting even without understanding everything. I'm seeing everything. I know your faithfulness when no one is looking. I know the times you thought about stopping, but decided to pray one more time. I know the days when you woke up without wanting to, but you chose to seek me. I know about the silent struggles, of the thoughts you don't share with anyone. And that is why I say, I am working. And everything will align. At the right time, in the right way, with the right impact. You are not alone in this silence. He is part of the symphony of the miracle to come. Stay strong. Because what is being built in the invisible will be revealed with glory in the visible. I am here. I'm operating. And what I prepared for you is greater than you imagined. Wait in faith. Because it's worth trusting me. Always. The new season has arrived. You are no longer in the same place as before, even if everything around you still seems the same. Something inside you has changed. Something has been repositioned, restored, realigned. I walked you through each of these words because it was necessary to prepare the soil of your heart for what is about to be born. The time of waiting taught you. The time of silence made you stronger. The time of the process matured you. And now, I tell you clearly, a new cycle begins now. What once seemed distant begins to get closer. What was stuck starts to move. The doors that were closed begin to give way. And not by chance. But because everything is aligning with the perfect timing of my will. You have endured difficult days. He fought invisible battles. He cried where no one saw him. But I saw everything. And nothing you experienced was in vain. Every step was counted. Every tear registered. Every prayer collected. And now, the time has come to live what I have prepared. Don't be afraid to move forward. The new always comes with uncertainty, but I am certainty in the midst of the unknown. I go ahead, opening paths. I'll follow, protecting your steps. And I walk by your side, as a father, as a friend, as a guide. Don't worry about how everything will happen. Just keep believing. Keep walking. Keep listening to my voice. Because at each step, new confirmations will come. And you will see that everything is being guided by my hands. I am awakening in you a firmer faith, a broader vision, a courage you didn't even know you had. Because the challenges of this new season will require a strengthened spirit. And that's what you carry now. Not a fragile faith, but a tested faith. Not a momentary hope, but a consolidated hope. Not a passing enthusiasm, but a deep conviction that I am with you. The harvest that will come will be proportional to what was planted in tears. And you will finally understand why you went through everything you went through. You will look back with gratitude. You will realize that I was in every detail. That even when everything seemed directionless, I was writing a perfect plan. And now, this plan begins to be fulfilled before your eyes. So, take a deep breath. This is just the beginning of something extraordinary. Recognize the current situation. Breathe deeply. Right now, I've let something strong into your life. It is neither a nebulous wish nor an assumption. This spiritual reality has already started to take shape. A supply that comes straight from heaven, not from earth, is reaching you. I witnessed every challenge you encountered. I am aware of the intensity of your suffering, the quiet of your most fervent prayers, and the times you thought no one else was paying attention to your efforts. However, I did see it. And I took action because I saw it. This blessing was not a coincidence. The fact that you are hearing this message right now is no accident. This moment has been divinely planned by me. Before it reached you, every word you hear was created in my heart. It is the response to your covert request and your expectation without even understanding how to wait. You came here exhausted, overburdened, and frequently without the will to keep believing. However, I won't let you bear this weight by yourself any longer. I fortify you with my spirit and envelop you with my presence today. In your life, I'm starting a new cycle. It's a significant improvement. A breakup has occurred. It's a pivotal moment when the previously stopped things start to flow. Where the rare will become many. Where miracles will be performed to honor your faith, no matter how tiny. You sowed a seed of faith that I haven't forgotten. No tears flowed aimlessly. No prayer was disregarded. It wasn't a pointless wait. You will be rewarded for every second you remain steadfast, even if you didn't see anything. You can't even begin to comprehend what I'm bringing. Peace, stability, knowledge to build, and the fortitude to start afresh are more important than money alone. I am the God who provides for, who creates opportunities where walls merely exist, who multiplies insignificantly, and who changes things that the world had previously thrown away. You are not a numerical value. You have not been forgotten. Everything I have prepared bears your name since you are my dear son. I am aware of your days, difficulties, and innermost thoughts. And despite everything, I still love you, chose you, and call you to live a better life. Now let your heart open. Allow this word to penetrate deeply, even if you were unaware that it needed to be touched. I am pouring out my healing in this area, where pain has taken root. I am breathing freedom there, where barriers have been erected by fear. You don't have to continue living in an attempt to survive. I wish you a full life. May you have complete faith in me. Because I'm already there, clearing the path, opening doors, easing burdens, and influencing people in your favor while you worry about tomorrow. Don't wonder how it will occur. Just have faith that it has already begun. I keep my word when I make promises. Yesterday, today, and forever, I am the same. I remain the same. Furthermore, there is no scarcity, no crisis, and no impossibility that can stop me from providing when I say I would. My provision is based on what I have already decided in heaven, not on what you can see. Have faith. Additionally, if you believe that this word was meant just for you, leave a faith-filled remark that reads, I receive this divine provision. Because simply expressing your confidence makes it possible for my activity to come to pass with much more vigor. The gifts emanate from this place of trust. Don't allow uncertainty stop you from responding. Don't let fear take away what is already on the horizon. Nothing is going to stop me. Not reason, not situation, not prior errors. Nothing can stop me from blessing when I chose to. Therefore, get it immediately. Accept with bravery, humility, and joy. Merit isn't the issue. It has to do with my grace. Something has reached you that will alter your narrative. And that's only the start. You're not here by accident. I watched every moment of your adventure. I was there for you whenever you felt like giving up. I welcomed you with my presence each time you sobbed in private. I want you to realize today that I wrote this moment before you were ever born. You are currently listening to a message that goes beyond a pleasant speech or a video. It's a call to spirituality. It is proof that you have been called to live a life that is far more expansive than what you have known up to this point. The touch of my spirit is what is currently taking place in your heart. It is not feeling. I personally choose this time to remind you of your identity and what I have in store for you. When you allow yourself to hear my voice, everything that before seemed unclear starts to make sense. And I am lining up heaven and earth in your favor as I talk to you now. I am mending what appeared to be irreparable and repairing what was damaged. Something in the invisible is in motion. Something that will shortly come into view. You've probably questioned why certain things didn't go as planned or why some doors didn't open. What appeared to be a delay was really protection. I never arrived late. Even when it appeared like nothing was happening, I was constantly working behind the scenes. You are my daughter and son, and I would never abandon you when it came to making the most significant choices of your life. You believed that I had forgotten you, but in reality, I was molding you. It's time to live what I've planned for you now that you're ready. Even if the world might not see your worth, I do. I am aware of the substance I inserted into your heart. My love remained the same despite your failures and your feelings of separation from me. You never lost my faith in me. Because I am aware of the finish from the start. And I am confident that the new chapter in your life will surpass all previous experiences. You must understand that the faith that is currently growing within you is a potent seed. Don't hate her. She can move the sky, no matter how tiny. However, you must develop it with obedience, faith, and surrender. There will be instances where you must follow without knowing all the answers, walk without seeing, and believe without comprehending. And I make my magnificence visible in this state of submission. I'm calling on you to plunge in and breach the surface. Living on appearances, quick fixes, and human efforts is no longer feasible. You require something genuine, profound, and transforming. And I am that. Your heart yearns for me. I am the voice that never stops, the promise that never comes to nothing, and the supply that never runs out. Now pause and take a look inside. Observe the weight of what you attempted to construct yourself. But everything becomes light when you let me take the lead. I walk with you, not because it's an easy path. If this message resonated with you, please forward it to someone who needs to hear it right now. Serve as a conduit for my message to other people. Around you, people are waiting for a touch, a word, or a sign. And that bridge may be you. Don't keep what I'm pouring out on you to yourself. Let go, distribute, and be blessed. Because heaven will work more in your favor the more you share what comes from it. They're moving you around. They're reminding you of your worth. I'm calling you back to the core of my will. Don't resist. Give up. A new era lies ahead of you. A moment when faith will triumph over skepticism. Where fear will be banished by love. Where hope will keep you going when you collapse. Furthermore, it makes no difference how many times you've fallen this far. The important thing is that I'm reaching out to you today and telling you to get up. Hurry up. Make a fresh start. Since I'm with you. Don't try to grasp everything at once. Don't even attempt to guess what will happen next. Simply keep hearing my voice. She will be the one to support, comfort, and encourage you. Additionally, you will no longer be traveling alone, despite the fact that there are still obstacles to overcome. Because your spirit was awakened to something today. And that cannot be taken away. Someone has phoned you. You've been selected. And you're here for that reason. I am bringing something extraordinary into your life. It is not simply any blessing, no matter how short-lived or restricted. It's something deep, life-changing, and enduring. There is more to the riches I am going to bestow upon you than just tangible possessions or accomplishments. It touches the dry parts of your body. It restores not just your money but also your identity, your religion, your thinking, and your capacity for dreaming. I don't pass out crumbs when I bless. I provide the excess. And what lies ahead will alter not just your tale but also the stories of others around you. The difference I make in some people's life will have an impact on them. Scarcity cycles are currently coming to an end. However, it will be on the inside as well as the outside. Because the heart is where genuine prosperity starts. You are being taught to think like someone who has been called to live a purposeful life. You weren't made to battle for your life every day. I urged you to live life to the fullest, wisely, and with self-worth. To receive the blessing I have for you, your heart must be ready. I have been working on you for this reason, even before I gave you what you requested. Sometimes I mold your character, teach you to wait, and teach you to trust. The moment has now arrived for the harvest to start showing. We'll uncover what was concealed. What appeared to be gone will be brought back. However, you must realize that I want to educate you how to uphold, respect, and multiply what I'm entrusting to your care, not merely give you over. This new stage will grow on the soil of gratitude. And the foundation of everything you go through will be duty. I have faith in you. I can tell how much you've changed. Even though everything was screaming for you to quit, I can see how hard you struggled to keep going. However, I want to show you how to tread softly in this new era. I want to demonstrate to you that you don't have to bear the burden of the future by yourself. I'll look after you. You have my support. I have everything ready before you need it. Before you have even finished the questions, you will begin to feel the answers. Because my mercy, not your reasoning, is what makes my supply possible. Where there used to be walls, doorways will be opening. Even on days when you're under a lot of stress, you'll feel at ease and receive unexpected supplies and invites. Because you have my hand on you. And nothing stays the same where I put my hand. The entire atmosphere shifts. Everything is in harmony. Every conflict becomes a testimonies. Prepare to walk where you have never seen yourself before. Prepare to receive without worrying about losing. To construct without worrying about things collapsing. To love without worrying about being let down. Because I strengthen when I restore. I sustain as I heave. I empower others when I send. This wealth, which comes with serenity rather than burden, is now yours to experience. Not out of nervousness, but on purpose. You are no longer forced to reflect on the past and question why it didn't occur sooner. Everything happens at the perfect moment. And I made my decision at this moment. Because you're ready now. Because you will now understand how to use, maintain, share, and respect what I have given you. To keep listening to my voice, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to tell you a lot of things, and this is only the beginning. Avoid disconnecting. Continue to listen. Because this is only the start of an incredible adventure that I have started to do in you today. Additionally, you are not traveling alone. I'm by your side the entire time. I noticed you. When no one else saw your suffering, I did. When the weight in your heart is concealed by the grin on your face. Every time you considered quitting up, every time you were silent and your emotions spoke louder than words, I was there. In my view, nothing was missed. Your tears weren't all for nothing. Your every thought was taken into consideration. What others failed to notice, I saw. I experienced what you were unable to describe. I'm here today to remind you that you were never alone. Even the longest evenings have been spent with you. Those where the agony seemed to suffocate and sleep was absent. I was there, encompassing you in my presence while you shivered in silence, attempting to hold back the anguish. I was looking after your heart when you felt like no one was interested in you or understood you. And I was closer than ever, even when you didn't see it, when fear was louder, and even when you believed I was quiet. I am aware of your silent prayers. The ones you created with a single glance to the heavens. Those that came out as sighs, moans, and fleeting ideas rather than as phrases. All of them were heard by me. I listen to the heart because I don't require fancy phrases. And yours never ceased beckoning me, despite your weariness and pain. You believe that your faith is insufficient, yet I saw that you made every effort to believe, to keep going, and to stay with me. And I honor you for it. What no one else understands, I comprehend. I can see why you yourself find it hard to convey. I am aware of how every circumstance impacted you, how every setback left you with scars, and how every door that was closed undermined your self-esteem. Nevertheless, I stayed. I continued to have faith in you. On the days when you felt like you were about to fall, I was there to support you. I put you through some trials to make you stronger, not to punish you. In order for you to understand that I, not you, are the source of your power. Have you ever questioned why some circumstances appear to go on forever? What made certain aches persist on remaining? I am aware that you frequently believed I had not heard you, that my assurances were too distant. You were unaware, however, that I was working even during the quiet. My compassion is sometimes demonstrated by my quiet. You were being shaped by me, shielded from seemingly decent routes that would lead you farther than I had anticipated. I was preparing the ground for a much larger planting. I'm not ignoring your pain. I don't downplay your suffering. I, on the other hand, am meticulous. I was greeting you at the moment you felt rejected. I was lovingly observing you while you felt ignored. I was holding you when you thought you were at your weakest. You didn't fall, you didn't break, you didn't give up because of this. Because even if you didn't know it, I was carrying you. On the days when it felt like the earth had vanished, I was your support. To me, your sorrow is not insignificant. I care about what hurts you. And for that reason, I now provide healing. Not only to ease your emotions, but to re-establish your identity. I would want to remind you that you are not the culmination of your faults or the accumulation of your experiences. You are my masterpiece, my invention. And I finish all I do. I never leave anything unfinished. It won't be any different with you. Even while I saw you broken, I also saw you whole. I picture you restored, powerful, and self-assured. I picture you achieving all of my goals. And I am reducing the route, even if today still feels far off. I'm accelerating time. I'm providing resources, opportunities, and people to put you in the right place. I am the God who turns sorrow into witness, anguish into hope, and tears into dance. And I'm doing that to you right now. Allow me to mend what no one else has been able to. Permit me to enter the spaces you have blocked off out of concern for future harm. I came to repair you, not to pass judgment. All you need to do is give it permission. That's all. Let me demonstrate my love for you. May I demonstrate to you that genuine love never gives up, demands perfection, or abandons. And I am that love. I'm present. I agree with you. And I'll always be me. I am aware of how frequently fear has attempted to control your emotions. How many times has he pretended to be sensible, protective, and prudent? But in his heart, all he wanted was to immobilize you. Fear is not overt. He whispers instead of screaming. It mutters that you're alone, that it won't work, that it's too late, and that you're not competent. And you trusted these falsehoods a lot. It was because you were already worn out, wounded, and discredited, not because you didn't have confidence. When you let your guard down and the fatigue appears to outweigh the promise, that's when dread takes over. However, I'm here now to dispel this worry. Because I wasn't the source of your terror. I didn't make you to be a reclusive, constrained person who is wary of everyone and everything. I made you to believe even in the absence of evidence, to walk on water, and to walk in faith. Not only has fear taken your tranquility, but it has also taken away your chances, your courage, and your optimism. When you were about to do something new, how many times did you back off because your doubts were stronger? How many times have I opened doors and you were afraid to enter because you thought it wasn't time? He shows up. You have to make a decision today. Because your faith is stronger than any threat from the outside, you may look at fear and declare, "You're not in charge of me anymore." I instilled in you a sense of audacity, bravery, and clarity. And now they're activating that spirit. I'm restoring your self-assurance and giving your vision and goals new vitality. You will no longer hide. It won't go down anymore. The reason you will proceed is because I have called you to do so. The area where the adversary attempts to erect his strongholds is doubt. He attempts to persuade you that my promises are not for you, even though he knows he cannot touch them. He can also hold you still if he can induce uncertainty. However, I'm here today to dispel all of the lies that were sown in your mind. You are deserving, indeed. You are competent, indeed. You are adored, indeed. And nobody can stop what I have in store for you. All you have to do is believe. You don't have to be really religious. Simply have a real belief. Take only one step. Simply say, "I trust in you, even if you are afraid." It is in this small act that the chains start to come loose. That the walls start to give way. That the water starts to flow. Because I react to faith. Always. Furthermore, it makes no difference how many times you failed. I'm here to encourage you, not to criticize you. To repair that which fear attempted to destroy. I am breaking invisible bonds while you listen to me. I'm releasing your mind from the habits that held you captive. I'm clearing your heart of the uncertainty that kept you from falling in love, from putting your trust in others, and from beginning anew. There is truth to what is currently being released into the spiritual realm. Additionally, it will show up in the natural world. The modifications will be visible to you. The lightness will be felt by you. You'll stroll in safety. Because trust will now exist where fear previously was. There will now be conviction where there was once uncertainty. There will be mobility where paralysis formerly was. 7777 is a prophetic sign of heavenly release. If you sense that this word is for you, leave a remark right now. There is more to this number than just a series. It represents completeness, completion, and the discharge of something whole from heaven into your life. Declare this with trust. Allow your faith to outspeak your fears. Because heaven comes closer to you each time you act with faith. You weren't made for hiding. You were made to shine. To have an effect. To be free to live. You will no longer be guided by fear. Your steps shall be guided by my voice from now on. And I support you where I lead you. I strengthen where I send you. I make you flourish where I put you. Right now, you are defeating the fear that has been trying to stop you for so long. And a new era opens up in front of you. A period of bravery, action, and steadfast faith. Because you no longer go alone. I agree with you. You weren't made to exist in a state of shortage. I didn't make you to live a brief life filled with incessant anxiety, restless nights, and days spent worrying about what tomorrow may bring. I've always had more in store for you than just survival. Even when everything around you looks unstable, I created you to thrive, grow, and live in peace. For my children, scarcity has never been a part of my purpose. It results from a damaged world, poor decisions, and cycles that must be broken. However, I am here today to remind you that you are not bound by the system of the world. My kingdom is yours. And there is no shortage in my kingdom. You must realize that my word, not your circumstances, defines your reality. I am the God who creates pathways where none exist. Provision is created in the desert as a result. That hardly multiplies, that survives with the unseen, that, with a single touch, turns scarcity into plenty. Your human effort cannot accomplish what I have prepared for you. Because promise is more important than work alone. It has to do with cooperation. I also don't sever alliances. The dread of losing has put pressure on you. For tomorrow's insecurity. For the sense that it's never sufficient. However, I did not do this. I am the rest-giving God. The weight is lessened as a result. Who looks for every little thing and maintains with love. Why do you think I would forget about you if I could feed birds with my hands? All of them are not as valuable as you. You were made in my likeness, selected, and unique. I own you. And because you are mine, you are not supported by your income, the market, or outside assistance. You are sustained by my constancy. I want you to quit viewing life as an ongoing struggle for survival. I want you to begin viewing things through a religious lens. Because I maintain control even when it appears like everything around you is collapsing. And nothing at all, gets out of my grasp. I have what you need. I've prepared. What do you expect? I can recover what you lost. However, you must have faith. You must match my word with your vision. What was never part of the plan must no longer be accepted as usual. Your faith is being silenced by scarcity. It attempts to convince you that waiting on me is pointless, prayer is pointless, and believing is a waste of time. However, the opponent is lying about these. He's trying to make you feel isolated. That others have forgotten about you. That you are not valuable enough for a miracle to happen to you. I'm here to argue differently, though. Yes, you are valued. Yes, you have promise. Furthermore, the moment of manifestation is nearer than you may imagine. Now pause and see the world with a spiritual perspective. Look at how much you've already been set free. You've come this far despite the several times you doubted your ability to succeed. Look at how much you've learned, grown, and been able to resist. This is no easy task. This is the manifestation of a living faith. And this trust makes me happy. She is the one that moves me. It is the element that transforms the natural into the supernatural. She is the one who lets paradise into your life. You were made to live a dignified, purposeful, and peaceful life. When I set a table for you, you don't have to settle with crumbs anymore. When I have a lot, don't settle for less. I have called you to live in the heart of my will. Do not tolerate life on the periphery. I want you to know that, despite the fact that I still have bills to pay, obligations to settle, and obstacles to overcome, I am stronger than all of this. And I'll do something. I'll step in. I'll take you by surprise. Tell individuals who are disheartened about this fact. Many people around you are deceitful. People who believe that scarcity is fate, who have lost faith, and who have forgotten their own worth. However, you may serve as a voice, a light, or a tool to remind these folks that I haven't changed. Which I still find appealing. I continue to bless. Still unrestricted. I picked you to be a part of this shift, which is why you are hearing this now. Your circumstances do not hold you captive. My vows are yours to inherit. So raise your head. Raise your shoulders. And walk like someone who understands that the Father is watching over, supporting, and guiding him. Because there is no lack where I am. Provision exists where I am in charge. There is enough where I live. I also live inside of you. I am bestowing upon you a blessing that is neither insignificant nor typical. It's fantastic since I have a fantastic goal with you. But really get this, I don't bestow benefits only to temporarily cheer you up. I am blessed to prepare you, to utilize you, to make my character and caring known through you. I am pouring forth a supply that has a purpose, a destination, and an influence that extends beyond you. I trust who you are becoming, therefore I give myself over to you. I observed your procedure. Because you didn't have enough, I witnessed your tears. I witnessed the times when you had to make tough decisions. I witnessed your decision to stick with me even when it would have been simpler to give in. Even though he had little, I witnessed him helping others. I observed him pray instead of murmuring. All of this was a part of the planning. I also know that your heart has become stronger, more mature, and more aware. I'm providing more because of this. Because I'm confident you'll know how to use what you're given. It goes beyond simply possessing. The key is understanding how to use it. It's about prudent management. About realizing that what you have is not the result of your own work but rather the fruit of my mercy. In addition to providing you with resources, I will also provide you with wisdom. I'll give you chances, but I'll also give you the discernment to know when to act. I'll introduce you to people, but I'll also let you know who should stay and who should go. Since I don't want you to just win, I want you to remain. I hope you succeed. I hope you encourage others to follow suit. I made you to be shared, not to be accumulated. You are not a reservoir, you are a channel. I want your life to serve as a live example of my faithfulness when I bless it. May you demonstrate to others why it is worthwhile to put your confidence in me. May people understand that in addition to being a God of plenty, I am also a God of justice, order, and purpose. You remain in my presence notwithstanding the blessing that comes your way. It draws you nearer. Because people who are aware of their origins respect what they have. Few are prepared to accept responsibility, yet many desire to receive. Without accountability, provision turns into waste. However, it grows in the hands of those who are conscious and those who are terrified. She develops. She catches up. And I want you to get the benefits of what I put in your hands. I hope it gives others guidance as well as relief for you. I hope it brings both solace and change. Prayers that were not prayed for you will find their answer in you. It will serve as a tool in locations I never would have thought possible. Because there is a movement that transcends the normal where a heart is in harmony with heaven. Don't let plenty divert your attention. Allow it to draw you nearer to me. Remind yourself that you should be grateful for whatever I provide you. Furthermore, genuine appreciation shows up in decisions, actions, and how you handle what you are given. I don't bless in order to boost self-esteem. I provide you the ability to spread the kingdom, so that many others may come to know my truth, my love, and my provision through your life. After praying for doors to open, hinges are now moving. You're feeling the breeze of change now that you demanded it. But be aware that this is only the start. The first indication of something far larger is what I am providing you. A moment when you will be the one transmitting as well as the one receiving. What a manual! What a boon! What a force! It will be because of my presence in you, not because of your skills. To keep getting my direction, like this message and subscribe to the channel. Because I will continue to talk to you after this. There's more. New words have been added. There are fresh routes. Additionally, you must stay in touch, sensitive, and aware of what I am releasing. Because everything I teach you will be essential to sustaining your progress. Blessing also entails accountability. And I'm giving you the requirements to do what I've planned. The days of shortage are over. Wisdom, charity, and influence are needed now. Because whomever is overflowing with me is me. And that is what you will encounter, overflowing. I am your source of income. I was and always have been. Even if you believed it was your daily effort, your labor, your strength, or someone else's assistance. Even if you were meticulous and believed that everything relied on what was deposited into the account. I was the one. I was always the one. Before you recognize the need, I am the one who delivers. That takes action before urgency. This gets the escape ready before the crisis occurs. And I encourage you to view it differently today, even if you haven't viewed it that way yet. To acknowledge that I am the source of your existence. Do you recall a time when you were unsure about how you were going to pay a bill and the solution appeared out of the blue? Do you recall the door that opened while it appeared to be closed? That strength you had when you were unable to move from your bed? That calmness that you felt even when you had no obvious cause to smile? I was present. As a father, not only as a spectator. As a supplier. As the one that never gives up. The birds in the sky are kept alive by me. They don't create wealth, they don't work, and they don't store. None of them, however, go hungry. Now pause and consider this. How could I not look after you if I look after the birds? I'm holding you in my hands. I made you with a lot of love. You, whose mission is eternal. You are far more valuable than any creature in the universe. My image is you. He is my son. My daughter. And nothing at all, eludes my attention. I am aware that everything appears unclear in your world. Scarcity is screaming in the headlines. The bills go up. Not every door will open. Expenses are sometimes greater than salaries. All of this is visible to me. However, I also want to remind you that you are not a part of this system. You are not of the world, but you do live in it. You belong to the kingdom as a citizen. And there's an inexhaustible supply in my kingdom. Man cannot forecast certain resources. Certain routes are inaccessible to logic. Even when everything appears gone, miracles may happen. What I have for you is independent of human influence, economic stability, or the goodwill of others. Only my word will determine what I have for you. Furthermore, my word never fails. I'm dependable. I keep my promises. What I say comes to pass. Furthermore, it is not an emotional comfort when I claim that I will assist you. It is a perpetual assurance. You will not miss it. You won't die. Along the road, you won't stumble. Since I'm on your side. With a powerful hand. With fresh elegance. With unfailing love. I am aware of the inner workings of your existence. I am aware of the concerns you keep to yourself. Based on your nightly computations. From the sleeplessness that attempts to take over your thoughts. The obligations that drain your energy. All of this is visible to me. However, I want you to know that you are not alone in bearing this load. You are trustworthy. You can relax. Knowing that I am the one who keeps watch over you day and night allows you to breathe deeply. The one who gets the unseen ready. The supernatural is moved by that. Who gives the order for my angels to protect you at all times? You are not reliant on a position, a person, a job, or a certain wage. You rely on me. And the best security somebody can have is relying on me. Since I'm constant. I don't put things off. I don't desert. I don't cancel my plans due to unforeseen situations. Quite the opposite. My deed will be more wonderful the more unfavorable the situation. My strength will become more apparent the less possible the miracle seems. You will see my faithfulness more clearly the more difficult it appears. So don't be afraid of the future. I've already arrived. Give up questioning your source of income. He's already been let free. Give up doubting its viability. Yes, it is already written. I will complete what I began in your life. And what appears little, limiting, and inadequate now will be a testament to my richness tomorrow. I handle the specifics. Where there is confusion, I provide tranquility. I put things in order that appear disorganized. And I adore you, which is why I do this. Since you belong to me. And so no one who has faith in me will be ashamed. Rest, then. As someone who trusts, not as someone who makes allowances. Do your share with honor, quality, and devotion. However, don't bear the weight of supply by yourself. Allow me to handle it. Allow me to demonstrate that having faith does not equate to living aimlessly. It is living under the guidance of an unfailing Father. And I am that Father. Your nourishment is me. Forever, today, and yesterday. You have never been saved by money, and you never will be. It can purchase items, but it cannot bring you inner serenity. Although it could provide short-term solace, it cannot mend severe injuries. A weary heart cannot be sustained by it, but an appearance may. Many people live completely empty lives while having a lot. Because they conflate accumulation with peace, stability with security, and riches with purpose. However, I'm here today to tell you that genuine tranquility lies in who you trust, not in what you own. You were instructed to pursue, to keep looking, to keep going until you found the ideal of life that the world had set. However, you get more exhausted the more you pursue it without me. More irritated. More distant from the purpose for which it was designed. You weren't forced to live as a slave to numbers by me. Additionally, you shouldn't use the size of your account to gauge who you are. I gave you the ability to live freely. Even if you still don't have all you desire, you should trust, relax, and breathe deeply. It's acceptable to prosper. I'm glad to see you safe, well, and well cared of. However, the issue arises when you put your thankfulness where it belongs. The issue starts when your hope is dependent on a bank's approval, a contract, or a financial return, and your faith falters before expectations. You begin to lose your composure as you lose sight of the source. But I'll give you a call back today. Go back to the source. Return to the location where you can only trust me. Money is not a goal, it is a tool. It does not guide, it serves. It aids but does not provide definition. It flows well when you think of it as an instrument rather than a base. However, it turns into a prison when you use it as the cornerstone of your security. Furthermore, I didn't make you to be a prisoner. You were made to live freely by me. Free to have faith, give, manage, and grow with intention. What you possess is a blessing, but what you are is priceless. Many people keep looking for more, yet the more they have, the less they take time to relax. This is a result of their confidence malnourishing their spirit. Furthermore, trust is developed in my presence and cannot be purchased. You learn to breathe easily even when the bills aren't paid yet while you're with me in secret. You come to understand that I'm always on time when you stroll with me. I never missed it. That I was planning something greater than what you requested, even when it didn't appear like anything would happen. How often have you believed that you wouldn't be at rest until everything was settled? When Project Z was achieved, when Debt Y was settled, and when some X arrived. However, the tranquility that emanates from me is dependent on hearts that have been given up, not on goals that have been achieved. The world gives you tranquility, but I don't. The world's peace is brittle, contingent, and ephemeral. I have a steady, unwavering, and eternal peace. Even in the middle of the storm, you can sense it now. Because it depends on my presence and not on the situation. So don't let what's in my hands overwhelm you. I have carried that concern on the cross, you don't have to. You don't have to convince anyone of anything. All you have to do is believe. When everything is ideal, you won't be at ease. It comes when you realize that a flawless God is in charge of everything, no matter how flawed. And I am that God. Enjoy this video as a sign that you have chosen to trust me rather than money if this word is speaking to you today. You may express that your religion is shifting by taking this easy step. That conditions won't hold your peace any longer. That you recognize the actual location of rest. The fear of failing, the fear of not having, or the fear of losing need not hold you captive for another day. Your source is me. Your supply is me. I am a haven for you. And I will supply myself with whatever is required to achieve the goal I have for your life. The way is not a concern for you. All you have to do is believe me, listen to me, and follow me. I have what you need. And I deliver when it's time. Peace, however, is yours right now. Right here. Now. Breathe deeply and tell yourself, I trust in you. This small choice has the ability to alter the trajectory of your life. You are now led by the assurance of my constancy rather than the fear of paucity. I agree with you. And that's sufficient. The adversary observes you. He examines your behaviors, evaluates your responses, and pinpoints your flaws. He waits and doesn't hurry. It waits for you to become distracted, to become weary, or to let your guard down. And he takes action when he sees a gap. But not in the way you think. He doesn't yell or make overt threats. He appears in disguise. With proposals that seem to be good. With apparent solutions in the form of shortcuts. There are possibilities that appear promising on the outside but are actually traps. He is aware of where to play. He gives you fake affection after noticing your neediness. When he notices your frustration, he suggests shortcuts, identifies your need for clarification and offers risky side routes. All of this is done to gradually remove you from the center of my will. He doesn't suddenly shove you into the abyss. He constantly diverting your attention, averting your gaze, and persuading you that he can do anything he wants. And by the time you recognize it, you are already disoriented, and without serenity. But I'm here today to help you see. Because I love you too much to allow you to fall into blessing-disguised spiritual traps. I didn't open every door that was open. Not all proposals are divinely inspired. Not all seemingly simpler routes end up where they should. So pay close attention, observe. Say a prayer. Be discerning. Pay attention to my voice. Since I don't discuss misunderstanding, I spoke in peace. I don't rush anything. I drive carefully. I don't use appearances to deceive you. I guide you with honesty. Your essence is what the opponent seeks to take. He seeks to substitute fear for faith, control for trust, and reliance on me for independence. He wants you to believe that you are capable of handling any problem on your own, that you can circumvent the procedure, and that you are not limited by my time. However, this isn't freedom. It's a bond. It's a jail masquerading as freedom. Furthermore, you weren't made to be a prisoner. It was designed to be directed by life. With intention. Of course. Under the protection of heaven. Perhaps you have a promising sight in front of you. A choice, a suggestion, a partnership, a transformation. And everything seems to be in harmony. Nevertheless, you still feel restless. This is not a pointless annoyance. My spirit is alerting you. Because I protect you before I bless you. Furthermore, anything doesn't originate from me if it makes you turn away from me later on, even if it appears pleasant at the time. Additionally, it doesn't benefit you if it doesn't originate from me. Because what I have previously spoken to your heart is in line with what comes from above, which also offers calm and confirmation. You don't have to convince anyone of anything. You don't have to search for answers after the fact. I have the ideal timing. I've finished my plan. My path is also secure. It's what keeps you going, even when it feels slower. It's what makes you mature, even if it looks more challenging. It's what strengthens you, even when you don't understand. Don't veer off course. Avoid making false promises in exchange for your tranquility. Don't trade the now for the eternity. Tell the people you care about this spiritual warning. Many people around you are distracted, being tempted by voices other than mine, and following seemingly straightforward pathways that ultimately result in fatigue, annoyance, and stagnation. Be an awakening conduit. Light or not. Be a voice that identifies me. Because more hearts will be saved the more people listen. You are too valuable to be duped by simple fixes. What I offer for you is real, enduring, and substantial. You won't feel empty after reaching it, and it won't crumble with the first wind. I am the God who creates everything from nothing. That gives history a solid basis. Who is always there and keeps their commitments. And I want you to have this security. Thus, pay attention. Trust in me. Keep looking for my voice in every situation. Because I will always be at your side, ready to lead you on the correct path, defend you, and guide you despite temptations, diversions, and propositions. And whomever follows me treads on firm footing even when it looks like the ground is shaky. Since I am the cornerstone. The rock is me. The truth is who I am. And you are freed by the truth. I was there even after you left. I stayed here, waiting for you, even when you made decisions that would not get you anywhere. My love doesn't turn away when you're wrong. The moment you falter, my presence remains. Quite the opposite. I was closest to you during the times when you were most lost. I was there, even if you might not have sensed me. Because my love for you has never faded. I saw you all the time. I have never lost faith in your true self. I am aware of your heart. I am aware of the factors that led to your discouragement, coldness, and lack of faith. I am aware of the depth of certain disappointments. How some individuals betray your confidence. How you were irritated by your own decisions. However, that doesn't alter my feelings for you. I still have plans for your life, despite everything. Your errors don't make you less valuable. Deviations did not result in the cancellation of your call. You haven't been picked yet. It remains distinct. Right now, it's still a component of my work. I'll give you a call back today. To the core of my mission, not to the place where you fell. Because I dreamed of you walking with me, hearing my voice, and becoming a light in this world from the very beginning. I didn't create you to live a life of confusion, remorse, or half-heartedness. I created you to live in peace, clarity, and fulfillment. And you must leave everything that prevents you from doing so now. Because a fresh moment is being set apart for you. And he begins by making the choice to go back. Returning is not an indication of weakness. It's a mature gesture. It is realizing that even if you can do things without me, you will never be at ease. You will never feel whole, even if you can move. Because I have always held you in my arms. Where I remind you of your identity. Where I fortify you, heal you, and send you back stronger, lighter, and better equipped. Regardless of how far away you feel. Everything may be changed with only one step toward me. I welcome you with celebration rather than condemnation. Because I'm happy that you're coming back. Every heart that returns is celebrated by me. And it is prophetic that he is returning today. It will usher in a fresh cycle. A brand new station. Where testimony will replace what was once agony. Where weight will give way to grace. Where there was uncertainty, there will now be guidance. I do it outside after restoring you inside. I change your course after first touching your heart. I unlock the correct doors when I repair your motives. Because a blessing that isn't planned for becomes a mess. Everything that arrives, however, falls into place once you are in position. And that's what I'm doing right now with you. Your soul is being repositioned by me. Reviving your identity. Getting your confidence back. Don't let embarrassment hold you back. My kindness is greater than any error. Grace is not nullified by failure. When the heart chooses to return, there is no irreparable divergence. And your heart continues to beat for me despite its wounds. It still longs to be in my position. You continue to long for the tranquility that comes only from my presence. I'm here, too. I'm just awaiting your, "I want to go back," statement. And the sky moves when you say this. The angels rejoice. The unseen shackles snap. The spiritual burden starts to lessen. The accusatory voice becomes quiet. Because now you are being called by my voice. And my voice always beckons. It always calls close. Always make a kind call. Continue listening to my voice by subscribing to the channel. I have much to share with you. Words that will bolster you during tough times, reaffirm your faith when it appears waning, and serve as a reminder of what's most important. It's not necessary for you to stroll alone. I'm present. And I'll go on from here. Devoted, steady, and present. Because I'll finish what I started in you myself. The strategy still includes you. Even those who don't know you can still use it. In this generation, it continues to be a conduit for my love. There was nothing lost. It was all for nothing. Everything will be put to use. Even your silences and your errors. I am a master at changing things for the benefit of those who care about me. You also adore me. And I call you for that. I give you a hug. And you're welcome to return. Because this is your place. Since you belong to me. It is not necessary to give up life in order to be holy. It isn't a lie. Living on the periphery of reality, as though the call to holiness were a burden or a prison, is not what it is. To be holy is to live intentionally. It's deliberate walking. Walking through the dark without losing the light is what it is. Even when everything around you appears tainted, it's about keeping your heart pure. Isolation is not holiness. Impact is holiness. Then, not because you force yourself, but because you overflow, your life begins to change everything around it. I didn't summon you to a secluded chamber, isolated from the outside world, fearing failure. I called you to be among others, to serve as a link, to respond, and to embody my character in each action, statement, and decision. It is not beauty that I desire in holiness. It's the core. It's not about being flawless on the outside. A heart in harmony with heaven is the focus. And you've been searching for it. I'm here to reiterate that you can lead a life that is holy, fulfilling, and significant. To follow me, you don't have to give up your life. All you have to do is choose to live in a way that glorifies me. And this shows itself in little choices, sincere intentions, and being mindful of what you say, think, and feed your spirit. Being holy ties you to the deepest things rather than isolating you from the outside world. It enables you to view with the Spirit's eyes. It forces you to listen critically. Makes you fall in love gracefully. Most significantly, it forces you to persevere when others give up. Living a holy life is a brave act at a day when everything is shallow, when many people choose quick fixes, and when relationships and religion have been robbed of their depth by immediacy. It is the decision to not sell oneself. Avoid getting lost. Avoid becoming tainted by things that make big claims but fall short. More has been put aside for you. He was called to live up to a higher standard, one of excellence rather than judgment. Of inner beauty. With conviction. Of light that glows even when not everyone can see it. Being holy is maintaining integrity while being where no one else wants to be. When everyone yells, that's communicating intelligently. It's picking the truth when it appears more advantageous to tell a falsehood. When the hurt feels more just, it is forgiving. When pride tries to take over, it's serving. And all of this helps you get closer to your mission rather than taking you away from life. People like these are needed in the world. Who lead logical lives. They has love and principles at the same time. They don't compromise on values, but they also don't exclude others with differing opinions. Who live with the knowledge that they were called to something bigger, even if they are conscious that they are not superior to others. And you're turning into just that. Heaven on earth, reflected. An indication that living intensely is possible in such a short period of time. Don't be scared to be unique. You were meant to shine, not blend in. Furthermore, it is a brilliance of essence rather than appearance. This light originates from inside. Over time, that doesn't diminish. Praise is not necessary for that to remain illuminated. Who lives by the belief that he is on the correct road and does not pursue approbation. And it's this route that brings you nearer to me. Your surroundings are observing you. And a lot of people will be moved by your example rather than your talks. For the way you handle challenges. For the calm you maintain despite the tumult. Even if you don't know everything, you walk with firmness. It is holiness. It occurs when your actions speak louder than words. Additionally, don't consider this a hardship. Quite the opposite. You discover actual freedom when you follow this road. Because it no longer depends on what the outside world has to give or what other people believe. Your destiny in life is eternal. And everything makes sense. Even battles acquire significance. Even suffering might be the beginning of something bigger. I called you to be the light in the dark places. To provide hope in the face of adversity. To be truthful in the face of dishonesty. Additionally, you have all you need to live it. Since I'm with you. And you are sanctified by my presence. You are separated by that. That gives you strength. That gives you strength. You are never walking alone. So, you may go ahead. My voice will always be louder inside of you, regardless of what the world around you may say. Since you belong to me. Selected. Keep apart. Holy. And I see you that way. There is a period of preparation before to each harvest. It's not always simple this time. Patience, faith, obedience, and most importantly, quiet, are necessary. Because preparation frequently happens in secret locations that are invisible to others. You start to question whether you're actually making progress at that point. I'm working on the roots even though it feels like everything is at a halt. Forming the invisible in order to maintain the visible. Because I didn't ask you to lead a superficial life. I summoned you to something profound, substantial, and enduring. And a foundation is necessary for everything that is long-lasting. What you referred to as delay was frequently caring. Deliverance was what you referred to as a closed door. What you perceived as punishment turned out to be preparation. Because receiving is insufficient. You must be prepared to charge. I have too big a blessing for you to be held up by a flimsy framework. I have fortified your foundations because of this. You underwent pressure, tests, and circumstances that required more of you than you believed you could manage because of this. And yet you were still there. I matured you with every cry, even if you were unaware of it. I sided with you in every no. I taught you to trust in every delay. And suddenly everything begins to make sense. Since harvest time is almost coming, the lessons you have acquired thus far will be crucial to surviving the future. What I am going to spill forth will be well taken care of by you. He was ready for it, not only because he prayed for it. Don't hate the procedure. He's involved in the miracle. Pruning is a prerequisite for the field to blossom. Without first being put to the test in a fire, gold does not gleam. The potter's hands must push the vase before it can take shape. I have you in my hands. And everything has a purpose in my hands. There is no waste. No sobbing, no uncertainty, no quiet. Everything serves as a tool to help you become the person who bears the promise with knowledge, faith, and balance. I am aware that you prayed to expedite the process. He has already demanded an immediate response. And sometimes he believed I wasn't paying attention. I can assure you now, though, that I heard every plea. I said, and more than that. However, planning was the solution. Because I am a loving father. Additionally, I don't give you anything that I know might harm you since I love you. I wait until the appropriate moment. And that moment is approaching. You underestimate how close you are. However, I still need to make a change in you. A rearranging of thinking, a release, a mending. And what was suppressed will be disclosed after this is finished. In addition to experiencing the fulfillment, you will also have the framework necessary to live it peacefully. Because a commitment made without planning has consequences. But fulfillment is brought about by the promise of preparedness. If you are going through this process and expressing your beliefs, please leave a comment now. This is a spiritual attitude rather than merely a gesture. Lord, even without understanding everything, I trust. Even in the time of waiting, I remain. Even without seeing, I believe. This remark is a mature one that raises the sky. Because it demonstrates that your faith is founded on who I am rather than what you get. You're not running late. You're getting ready. And all that is being produced in quiet will be honorably disclosed. The worth of what was experienced in private will only be known by you and me, but others will see what I did to you. And your best witness will be that. It was genuine, not because it was simple. And everything that is genuine is still there. Remain resilient. Continue to believe. Continue to hear me. Since the procedure is nearly over. And the resulting crop will be so bountiful that you will comprehend the significance of each step, each delay, and each detail. I'm dependable. And I will complete what I have begun. With distinction. With intention. With affection. Since you belong to me. And I handle every stage of your narrative. I'm working even when it seems like nothing is occurring. My angels are active even when heaven appears to be quiet. I keep working even when you can't see, hear, or feel me. Because my loyalty is what determines my conduct, not how you see me. I am also dependable. I agree with you as you pray. I get ready while you wait. I go forward with details you cannot yet see, as you trust. Silence may be frightening at times. You believe that I left, that I stopped paying attention, and that I abandoned my intentions. However, I never forsake you while I remain silent. Silence is frequently the setting in which faith develops. The point at when your confidence transforms from a feeling into a conviction. It's where you discover that believing is about knowing, not feeling. At this point, you realize that your hope is not on the proof but rather in the assurance that I will never alter, fail, or forget. Have there ever been days when it felt like nothing was moving, yet you continued because of something inside of you? My spirit was the power that held you up. Don't stop, I'm still here, I said to your heart, for even when you're silent, I'm still God. And when you don't hear my voice, my power doesn't go away. Quite the opposite. The greatest marvels start to take shape on the days when it appears like there is no sound. The heavens are not motionless. He is simply functioning at a level that is not yet visible to you. People are being transferred. Doors are being set up. People's hearts are being moved. Provisions are being made available. Alignments are being created. Everything at the appropriate moment. Because everything I do has a meaning when I move. Arriving early is pointless. An ideal situation, a ready setting, and suitable maturity are necessary for what I have in store for you. And I'm now constructing it. You can trust without seeing. All you have to do is keep in mind what I have already done. Count the number of times you believed it was over. However, I began anew. How many times did you doubt your ability to be strong? But I gave you a boost. How many times did you cry while you prayed, and today you felt the answer? Why, then, would things be different now? I don't change. And I'll keep my word if I made one. However, in my time. At that point, the miracle will serve as both a testimony and a response. It will be a metamorphosis rather than merely a blessing. There is never a blank moment. It has a lot of meaning. You learn to believe without restrictions while you're waiting. Your character is formed, your religion is reinforced, and your roots are deepened there. When it's all ready, everything that seemed to be taking too long will go more quickly than you anticipated. Because nothing can stop me from saying, now. And while you stay, this now is being prepared. Enjoy this message as an act of trust in the unseen because of this. As though to say, I don't need to see to know that God is acting. This tiny gesture and straightforward attitude are spiritual declarations. It's as if you're telling heaven, I still believe, and heaven answers. Because I value every act of faith, every heart that chooses to keep believing even when they don't fully understand, and every heartfelt delivery. Everything is visible to me. Even when no one is watching, I can see you are faithful. I am aware of the moments when you considered giving up but chose to say a final prayer. I am aware of the times you chose to seek me out even if you didn't want to wake up. I am aware of the quiet battles. Of the ideas you keep to yourself. I say, I am working, for that reason. And everything will line up. The appropriate impact, at the appropriate moment, and in the appropriate manner. You're not the only one who is silent. He contributes to the coming miracles symphony. Remain resilient. For what is being constructed in the unseen will be gloriously displayed in the apparent. I'm present. I'm in operation. And you didn't realize how much more I had in store for you. Have faith and wait. Because believing me is worthwhile. Always. The season has changed. Even if everything around you appears to be the same, you are no longer in the same location. You've changed on the inside. There is anything that has been realigned, repaired, or moved. In order to prepare the soil of your heart for what is about to be birthed, I guided you through each of these phases. You learned from the waiting period. You became stronger during the quiet period. You matured along the process. I'll tell you straight now, a new cycle has begun. What seems far away starts to approach. The trapped object begins to move. The locked doors start to become unstable. Not by accident, either. However, because everything is falling into place at precisely the right moment for my will. You have faced challenging times. He engaged in unseen combat. Where no one could see him, he sobbed. However, I witnessed everything. Furthermore, nothing you went through was in vain. Each step was taken into account. Each rip was noted. Each prayer was gathered. It's time to put everything I've prepared into practice. Don't hesitate to take action. There is always doubt with the new, yet even in the face of uncertainty, I am certain. I go forward, creating pathways. I'll follow while keeping your steps safe. And as a father, friend, and mentor, I walk along you. Don't stress over how things will turn out. Simply maintain your faith. Continue to walk. Continue to hear my voice. Because there will be new confirmations at every stage. And you'll notice that my hands are guiding everything. I'm giving you a stronger faith, a more expansive perspective, and bravery you weren't even aware you possessed. Because a stronger spirit will be needed to meet the difficulties of this new season. And you're carrying that now. It is a tested faith, not a brittle one. A established hope, not a fleeting one. I have a strong belief that I agree with you, not just a fleeting enthusiasm. What was sown in tears will provide a harvest that is commensurate with it. And you'll at last comprehend the reason behind everything you've gone through. You'll be grateful when you look back. You'll see that I was involved in every aspect. That I was crafting the ideal plan even when it all looked to be going in the wrong direction. And now, right before your eyes, this plan is starting to come to pass. Thus, inhale deeply. This is only the start of something truly remarkable.